2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1.
I'm Helen Beatty, the Director of Up for Learning, which stands for Unleashing the Power of Partnership for Learning. Getting to Why Youth Bring Meaning to the Youth Risk Behavior Survey is an initiative of Up for Learning, and it's grown out of a 5-year partnership with the Agency of Education and now is supported by the Vermont Department of Health. This video will provide you with an overview of the Getting to Why initiative, its core components, and more importantly, what it looks like when youth-adult teams bring this process to life. Every other year, middle and high school age students across the country take the Youth Risk Behavior Survey to profile the health and well-being of young people in their community. It asks questions about smoking, about nutrition, drug and alcohol use, those sorts of variables. There is a wealth of information in this annual report, but what it doesn't include is a thoughtful and informed analysis of why young people are making either wise or unwise choices and what students believe would change these statistics for the better. The only way we can know that is to turn to young people themselves for these answers. Better than merely asking youth what they think, Getting to Why provides a process where youth take a lead in analyzing the data, sharing it with your community, and taking action. As you will see, this process is rich with learning and leadership opportunities for youth and adults alike. The teams first receive training on how to organize a day retreat with a broader cross-section of their peers to analyze their school data. In this interactive workshop, co-facilitated by youth and adults, participants experience the very same activities they will then be leading with their peers.
Alcohol use, there's very low assets. Violence, there's a low amount of assets. And illegal drug use is a low amount of assets. So what we're going to do is we're going to split up into groups, and you guys are going to analyze the assets on your own and how you currently have positive assets in your school. So there's two kinds of assets. One is internal, which are personal assets and things you can control on your own, and the other are external, and they have to do with your environment, your community, how you interact with your parents, how you interact with your teachers.
We're also going to split you guys up in groups, so you're not going to work with your school anymore. We want all the schools to share what's positive about their school.
For example, like Michelle mentioned, you guys may have a great student council where the students have a voice, or if students want meeting, you guys may have a community service club in your school. So anything that fits into your asset, which is described on this sheet of paper, you're going to write down on your web.
33, interpersonal competence. A young person has empathy, sensitivity, and friendship skills. Do you see that in your school?
We do, well, it's Kelso's Choices, and it's just this poster and kind of a curriculum that we do that teaches mostly little kids many ways to solve their conflicts non-violently.
Our school, we have student ambassadors who are sort of like a link between students and the teachers.
You can just read them and then just pick maybe one or two that you want to go into detail. You don't have to go into detail on every single one.
Some schools have something called the Green Team, which is they find ways to save electricity and make the world better with economics and stuff like that.
So now we're going to go to the internal asset, so the commitment to learning.
A lot of schools had small awards for good deeds. I think it was Northfield that had doubloons, and Montpelier has Gator Prize.
What's the meaning of doing this work? What was it like to do it? And do that for a couple minutes, and then we'll get some ideas back from you as you, I think, consider this as a whole.
The ideas that we've heard, we can definitely bring back to our schools and bring up the idea to teachers and stuff.
At our school, we made a web like this at our student dialogue day retreat, and then we put it on the wall at our dialogue night for parents and community members, and we covered it up with white sheets of paper. And then we had our community make another web, and then we compared them, and it was really interesting to see what the students feel the positives of the school are, and then what the communities feel the positives of the schools are. We're going to break up into groups, and you guys are going to identify strengths, concerns, and neutrals. So the strengths are things that you feel strongly about, that people should know that are a really good thing about your school. Like, for instance, in our school was that 75% of students eat breakfast. And then you're going to identify concerns, which are things you really want the community to know that need to be improved in your school and that you are working to improve them. And then you're going to identify things that are neutral, that are not notable strengths, but they're not notable concerns either. So this is how the data will come back to you in the survey. It'll be broken up for all the middle school students, which would be like the 48, and then per each grade, and then all the data is also broken up male and female. So can you guys quickly discuss in like 2 minutes if you would think that this would be a concern, or if this would be a strength of a school?
So I think that
we have the best.
a concern.
What's a concern because it's half?
It's pretty much half. People who are getting bullied, and
That's definitely a problem.
It's like 23%, so like less than a quarter of students in general. But like for 8th grade, it's a little bit higher. So should we put under neutral or concern?
It could be
Better,
less.
a lot better.
It could be a lot better.
What was it?
So it's not necessarily a strength, but it's not a weakness either.
If these numbers were just for your school, would you still see it as a strength, or would you put it more in a concern or neutral?
That means about one kid in each class. No, not even.
If somebody in the group number 1 wants to just stand up and read the question and then report back to us, that would be great.
We thought this was a concern, but not a huge one, because the number was kind of low. If you think about it the other way, 4 out of 5 kids aren't bullies. So we still think it's a concern, just not a big one.
Students who ever drank alcohol other than a few sips was about a quarter of the whole student body. We thought that was a concern. And more 8th graders, a third of 8th graders, so it's kind of as you get older, it seems like you're more likely to drink alcohol other than a few sips.
The trend of upward use is significant. So it goes up towards 8th grade. So keeping that level of detail on the why, so people know you're thinking. You'll have a ton more here of both concerns and strengths. And what you want to do is collapse it to 3 strengths and 3 concerns. If you number your sheets, then people just, they come up, they look them over, they individually decide what are the 3 things that I'm proudest about, that could be the answer to our challenges, and what are the 3 things that are most important that we can do something about for concerns. And then you can tally it over lunch. And then when people come back, you'll be able to show them the analysis. You're going to read the statement or the question, and you're going to go into silent dialogue. It's like you're going to be talking to one another, but just through your writing.
Our question was, what are your feelings about your job getting to why, what excites you and what scares you? So like a big trend was everyone was like excited to be able to find out the data and then try to make a change, make the community better. But then some people were scared of the data because like knowing that so many people do drugs and drink and drive and put other people at risk.
The lead team then facilitates a full-day retreat to analyze their data, recruiting a representative cross-section of their peers to take part in this task. They take time to look at both their community assets and strengths, as well as identify their concern.
the last 3, it was percent of students who ate breakfast on none of the past 7 days. And that one, I think, is a strength because it's basically less than 10% in everything, and overall in Vermont it's only 7%, so that's really a very low number that I think is good.
When we go to vote, we're just going to put the total percent on the board, so that's all that we really need.
Oh wait, so we should write down the total for Vermont?
Yeah.
Almost 30% of the kids at our school aren't wearing helmets while they're rollerblading or skateboarding.
Rollerblading. Yeah, I'd count that as a concern.
Our concern was the percent of students who think that people their age greatly risk harming themselves if they have 5 or more drinks of alcohol once or twice each weekend was 53%, which is about half of students. So about half of students don't think that they greatly risk harming themselves if they have 5 or more drinks of alcohol once or twice each weekend, and thought that was pretty concerning.
The day culminates in identifying 3 strengths and 3 areas of concern and a preliminary action plan based on the exploration of root causes of the concerns. The team then hosts a dialogue night to share the student executive summary with the greater community and lead meaningful multi-generational discussions about strengths, root causes of concerns, and possible solutions.
Another way to look at this is 48% of our students do not feel like they matter to people in their community. Our action plan ideas are opportunities to help out in the community would need some support of community and groups. Recognize more students for random acts of kindness. Opportunities for students to have a voice in some decisions being made at school. Now that we've shared our plan, we would like you to dialogue as your group at your table about the data and the action plan ideas for the next 20 minutes.
I have one idea about that, which is a lot of times it's hard for parents to get their kids into counseling because of money or logistics. And like at MVU where I teach, there's going to be a therapist like coming on site.
Don't pick on him, period. You don't want anyone to pick on him, but you need to make him feel like he's important, the he or she.
Finally, the lead team combines all that they've learned to frame next steps, which the group implements in the second half of the school year. What did the students and adults say about this experience?
We've been doing this as the student ambassadors, and we came up with certain answers, and the whole bigger group came up with different answers, which was exciting to see how the difference between some people's point of view versus others.
I really appreciated how kids would question each other. Like someone would share their opinion or their judgment, and another child would share, well, I hear what you're saying in a very respectful way, but I feel it's this way. And so hearing that respectful dialogue and having that opportunity for kids to feel safe that they can do that is not something you see all of the time during the school day.
I think organization is also a big part of it, making sure you have all your papers, making sure you know what you're doing and when you're doing it in the day in your schedule, and just kind of keeping track of everything is a big way to learn organization.
What I learned from this is just by putting an opportunity out there for kids to express interest in, the interest is there, and it makes the adult work very easy, so people may feel like it's a lot of time and a lot of commitment, but it doesn't feel that way because the kids take over.
I think one of the skills that we've been learning is teamwork and working together as a whole group and working together as an individual, like a little group.
I would encourage schools, especially middle schools, to do this kind of activity with kids because kids are ready to be leaders and they need to learn how to be a leader.
Also, you just get to make change your school.
Getting to Why is a powerful opportunity for middle and high school students to be civically engaged and to experience the satisfaction of better understanding and shaping their lives.